more than 70 drones attacked Ukraine, and most of them attacked Kyiv. Unfortunately, there are injured people. Fortunately, there are no victims. Again, Russia tried to attack energy infrastructure, power grid, and the winter just came to Ukraine, and it became cold just days ago, and almost immediately they tried to use this.
It's been a weekend of intense fighting in Ukraine. Russia launched its biggest drone attack on Kyiv since the war began. Russia's thought to be trying to disrupt Ukraine's energy infrastructure as winter sets in. Thousands of homes in the central Kyiv region were left without power. Oleksiy Goncharenko is a Ukrainian MP. Oleksiy, good morning.
Good morning.
So tell us about the impact of this really quite intense drone attack, and indeed how Kyiv has recovered from that attack.
I was witnessing this attack myself, and it lasted the whole night. More than 70 drones attacked Ukraine, and most of them attacked Kyiv. Unfortunately, there are injured people. Fortunately, there are no victims. Again, Russia tried to attack energy infrastructure, power grid, and the winter just came to Ukraine, and it became cold just days ago, and almost immediately they tried to use this. For the moment, the consequences are not really big. There were several thousand homes without electricity for some time, but not too long. But we clearly understand that is just the beginning.
Mm. And is that based on, from last winter and what was experienced by people across Ukraine? How can you prepare for a winter of intensified bombardment again?
We tried to do this with the support of our allies. More air defense that Ukraine received. We hope they will cover the most important objects. And like last night, almost all drones were intercepted. Also, the fortifications were built. Also, we prepared the stock of needed equipment to change it if it will be damaged. So we tried to prepare the energy system of the country, but only this winter will show did we really succeed.
In terms of Volodymyr Zelensky, President Zelensky of Ukraine, and his sort of updates, he's called the attack in its time unconscious terror. He warned Ukrainians that Russia is prepared for winter. What can you tell us, Oleksiy, about the battle itself on the front lines? What is happening?
Really, there is a heavy battles, but not real change of the lines. There are areas where Ukraine trying to push. There are more areas now where Russia is trying to push, but not real changes on the front line. It looks more like a First World War with a very small changes and very limited gains for both sides. But at the same time, it's a very bloody.
One of the other conversations that seems to be picking up, Oleksiy, is around how and when Ukraine can and should hold an election. There's lots of pressure building in the US about whether Ukraine needs to hold a presidential election next year, as was originally scheduled. One such sort of voice in the crowd is Republican US Senator Lindsey Graham, who, during his visit to Kyiv back in August, he said that Ukraine must hold presidential elections in 2024. Should there be a presidential election next year?
They could be only if the hostilities will be stopped. First of all, we have a law which clearly says that we can't have elections during martial law time. Secondly, just from a technical point of view, it's impossible. Imagine that there will be air raid alert for the whole day, which is absolutely what Russia will do. In this case, how will you hold elections? You can do it only in shelters, but do we have enough shelters? Okay, in the cities maybe, but in villages definitely not. What to do with the areas which are close to the front line or to Russia, where air raid alert will not help you? Near 2 months ago, there was an awful a Russian missile attack on one village in Kharkiv region, close to Russian border. One attack, 1/3 of village was killed. 1/3. So how we can do this? This is just impossible. And from the point of view of democracy, there are much more important things. Do we have autocratic tendencies in the country? Yes, we do, and that's the problem. But it's not about elections. It's about we need freedom of speech. We need to stop this governmental control, because using the war as a justification, Ukrainian authorities try to control media. That's not right, and that is something which should be stopped. We need more parliamentarian control. We need independent local authorities. This is real democracy, but not the fact that in some day somebody is coming to the station and putting some cross in the paper. If we say this is democracy, we can say that, even Russia or Belarus are democracies because some people are doing something like this. But democracy is something different. Democracy is the process. Democracy is the freedoms. They are heard during the martial law time, but we need to do everything we can to secure it as much as possible. And I hope that our allies and partners will help with this, because from inside it's quite hard to push their government and change because every government will like not to be asked and not to be criticized. But we need it because this is how the system works, and this is what democracy is.
Oleksiy, thank you very much. Thank you for speaking to us this morning.
Thank you.
Thanks. Oleksiy Goncharenko, Ukrainian MP there, saying that an election is only possible if hostilities are stopped. And also this anticipation of a winter intensification of fighting, perhaps best demonstrated actually by this drone attack on Kyiv over the course of this weekend. That's very much the warning from President Zelensky that winter is going to be particularly difficult in Ukraine.